Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Horse's Mouth Live. And as always, I'm here to bring you amazing guests who have fabulous information to not only help you in your business, but your life as well. My name's Ellen Rogan, and in a moment, I'm going to bring my friend Monique on to talk with us about visibility. Like, how do you get yourself out there to be seen and heard in ways that maybe you know and haven't taken action on, or also ways maybe you hadn't thought about before, to really be able, as Monique says, to step up in a bigger way. So let me introduce Monique Blogzel to you. And Monique and I met through the Evolutionary Business Council. She is, I don't want to say dialing in, whatever, logging in today from Germany. So, and she really has an international global audience that she works with. She's the founder of Heart Powered Business, which has helped hundreds of speakers, coaches, consultants, and other entrepreneurs around the globe to help them grow their business by using the power of their voice in a scalable way. So important. Her clients love their journey to growing their business as it allows them to not only grow their business, but have a deeper, bigger impact. And Monique herself is an award-winning international speaker, business mentor, and published author. She also has created Heart Powered Global Nation, which is a huge community of speakers, entrepreneurs, business leaders from around the world that get together to exchange ideas and support each other's activity. She has a podcast and a beautiful community that within the first 6 months attracted 20,000 people just in that short amount of time. I've been a guest in Monique's community, and I loved the way that our time difference didn't make a difference. I was up and with professional clothes on and makeup at 4:45 Chicago time to be with her community, and it was a thrill. So Monique, welcome. I'm glad you could be with us here. Most of our audience is US, and so thank you for bringing your global perspective and your incredible business experience to our call today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen, for the invite. I feel so honored to be with you and your amazing audience of financial advisors and everyone else. Yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah. So this topic of visibility is so interesting. You know, it's so competitive right now in many industries, but especially for financial advisors. It used to be pre-COVID that most of advisors' competition was from their local area. Like it was the advisor down the street or maybe a few miles away. And now that clients are very used to interacting online, their competition has grown even more than it had been before. So I think visibility is a really interesting way to show up in a different way in this incredibly competitive market. So what can we do to become more visible and stand out from the crowd?
Right. And again, you know what? I mean, you, Ellen, I know you've been working in that financial advising field for so long, and everyone that's watching today, I think that, wow, this is such a field, as you said. There's so many people in that field. I mean, we all want to make more money. We all want to get more wealthy, right? We all want to make sure we are safe when we're getting older, right? And there's so many financial advisors out there that sometimes we forget that every single one of them and every single one of you that's watching today has something special, has something unique. You stand out in your own unique way. And the challenge is right now that, as you said, Ellen, it's quite a loud, crowded world out there right now, right? And as you said, even now in COVID times, at the beginning, people were wondering like, oh my God, I've been out there with my clients. I've been physically sitting together with them. It's been mostly people in my neighborhood. How can I keep my business running now that I cannot go out? And at the beginning, maybe there was a little bit of a moment where people were really, wondering, how can I even keep my business running? And then, as you're saying, that over the month, people really started to embrace the opportunity, and they started to step out of their neighborhood, and they started to actually even saying, wow, now that I can work with, and attract clients online, I can work beyond my neighborhood. I can work in my state. I can work nationwide, right? And that opens so many amazing opportunities right now. So the thing is also, like, I had a lot of clients that, even people that like also have been physically with their clients, like the coaches, trainers, consultants, speakers of this world also, right? Um, they couldn't be on stage anymore, right? They couldn't be out there with their clients anymore, and their business got wiped out. But then what we did is we got them to embrace the opportunity. We got them to step up being more visible. We got them to, also go international now. Okay. Even international. I work with clients from all over the world. And you wonder, good, Monique, you keep speaking about what I want, but how can I make it happen? Now, how can I get more visible? And when we talk about getting visible, I think there's different elements related to that. The first one is really mindset, okay, and really seeing also what is possible, right? And the second thing is really, what does it mean to get more visible? Being visible means that you get more people being aware that you are there, that you exist, of the difference you are making, the amazing advice you can give people on how to become more wealthy and how to, become more financially savvy and how to attract more wealth. And also, it's like really embracing the value of your work, and then also seeing how you stand out, right? It's really getting clear on how you stand out and what makes you special. Because again, once you're clear on that, you can reach out to more people, and that's what we call like creating a reach out strategy. The question is, how can you get in touch with more people? How can you make sure that you have conversations with more potential clients all the time? And then the other part is, how can you actually get clients come to you? So that's what I would say. So the first thing is really like mindset. How can you stand out? The second thing is, how can you reach out in a greater way? And then how can you get clients come your way? So these are the three questions you want to ask yourself. On the mindset side, as I said, as you said, Ellen, in so powerful words, yes, there is, it's a loud, crowded world, right? There's a lot of financial advisors, and you might think like, I'm just one out of many. Well, the thing is, you're not. Every single one has a certain expertise. Maybe you know more about a certain type of insurance, or you have, maybe you have worked with people that are experts in a certain industry, or people that are at a certain age, or all of you, just by the combination of who are the clients you've been working with, and what advice did you give them predominantly, it makes you stand out in your field. So what do you
Can
need
I
to do in the
interrupt?
first?
I just want to interrupt for 1 second, because in addition to that, like our areas of expertise, I think I would add to that it's also about knowing what makes you unique based on who you are. Because
Exactly.
some people absolutely have a unique area of expertise, and then there's a lot that's either hard to articulate why it's different. But one of the ways that I word that is finding your superpower. And we've done that through Horse's Mouth, some workshops on this. But I'd add, in addition to what Monica's saying about, Monique. I'm Americanizing your name. Sorry
That's
about
okay. Everyone does it all the time.
in addition to what Monique is sharing, it's about who you are as a person too. Like, how do you make things better for people? Like,
Right.
I would say my superpower was still is making people feel calm about their money. Maybe you're someone who is, one of my friends, Kelly, is an encourager. So she makes people feel really inspired and excited. So I would add that into the mix of what Monique is
Yes.
sharing here with us. Yeah.
And I love what you're saying, Ellen, because often who we are is who we attract, right?
Hmm.
Like, often, if like you are a financial advisor, you have that experience from many, many years working in that field. So of course you're working and you're attracting financial advisors because that's the help you can share with them, right? Okay, but it's true. It's not only what's your expertise, it's really who you are. And also it's like what you care about most, right? Why do you do what you do? All of that makes you stand out, right? And again, it comes back to what I said is, once you are starting to become clear of what makes you unique, and what do you care about most, and what kind of clients you care about most. That gives you hints and clues of, who are your best clients, right? And again, I know that a lot of people, they say, oh, you know what, my expertise in the past, or how I found clients in the past, was by recommendations. The thing is, you can attract many more clients if you go beyond recommendations. You can start reaching out to more people. Okay, so here's an exercise we did on our 5-day visibility booster workshop, Ellen. We got people to start thinking about what we call your gold mine list, right? So, probably over the years, you have been in touch with a lot of people that you met, maybe, even at a private party, or, at a networking event, that said, oh, wow, it's interesting, what you do, you're a financial advisor. Well, I should speak to a financial advisor. Maybe that is like 3, 6, or 12 months ago. And, and you never reached out to them. So start creating your gold mine list, and, start thinking about, who do I know that expressed interest in working with me in the past, right? So on your gold mine list, think about, who were people that you have met in the past that expressed interest to know more about what you know. Okay. Also, who are clients you've worked with in the past, and then maybe for a while you haven't worked with them. Or also, what networks do you belong to, right? And again, there could be like networks where in the past you've met physically, now you're meeting online. Maybe you're even meeting right now in a much bigger way, because maybe some of these clubs where you've been meeting physically in the past are now meeting online, where you bring all these people come together. So your reach is becoming much bigger. So you start creating this gold mine list of contacts, and you start reaching out to them. Because, Ellen, you and I, we did an interview recently, and I interview a lot of people. And so many of them said, look, I mean, their greatest strategy right now is reaching out to that list of people, that we call the gold mine people. So once you have the sources identified of where can you look for potential clients, right? Then you make a concrete list of concrete people, and you write down their names, you write down their email address, you write down their phone number, and you start reaching out, right? And a lot of people ask me, good, Monique, but what do I say? I don't know what to say. It always feels a little bit icky reaching out to people. I know that financial advisors are normally very brave and very, very extrovert often, but, if you feel a little more introverted, you feel it's a little bit icky. People ask me, Monique, what can I say to these people when I reach out to them? And again, all you do is, first of all, you open your heart. Okay, you don't go and say, hey, I'm a financial advisor, shall we make an appointment? You rather actually follow up with people, and you say, hey, it's been a while since we've been in touch. I just wanted to check in with you and see how you're doing, right? And then you start thinking about, is there something you can give them that they might be interested in, right? So it could be like, hey, you know what? I know a lot of people are under financial pressure right now in the current year. Well, how can we make sure you turn it around? Would you like to have 2 or 3 hints of what I know my most wealthy people do right now? So again, give them something. So here's my formula of what message to craft to reach out. It's like, why are you reaching out right now? Hey, I've been thinking of you today. I'd like to check in with you, right? And find a connection point. Say, hey, we've met there, or were in conversation at that time, right? Find a connection point that really reestablishes your relationship and your connection. Then give them something that's of interest to them, and then give them a concrete, what we call a call to action, right? So again, the message could be, as we said, like, hey, it was great. We spoke about, we spoke 2 months ago at that kind of gathering. I just wanted to follow up with you and see how you're doing in the current times, and then again, give them something of interest and say, I've collected, like the top 10 things my most wealthy clients are doing right now that I would like to share with you. Would you like us to arrange a 5-minute call or a 10-minute call? And when are you available? So again, that is a great way for you to start reaching out to potential clients and bringing additional clients on board within your neighborhood and beyond, right? Again, so the outreach strategy is really like, Dive into your gold mines, look at where your gold mines are, create a list of concrete names, concrete people, and then start crafting your message and start reaching out.
So
And
I
I'm sure,
have some
Ellen, you want to add something to this as well. Yeah.
No, I have tactical questions with this. So, okay, I've got my list. I have met you a while ago. You were on my mind. I wanted to reach out and see how you're doing. Is this via email? Like, hey, Monique, we haven't talked since September. How you doing? Here's what I've been up to. Thought this might be helpful for you. Can we set up a time? Or is it like I pick up the phone and say, hey, Monique, just wanted to say hi. If you're interested in this, we could set up a longer call. And then those 10 things, is that something I want to share over a phone call, or if I created a white paper or a special report I send out? I just want a little more details on this great idea and
I love
tactics behind it.
I love that. So here's my approach that I take. Okay, and by the way, it's really interesting. For a while in my very early career, I also worked as a financial advisor. Okay, so but that long time ago, and I didn't do it long, but I have a little bit of experience. In fact, it was actually at a time when I was still walking door to door. Okay, so I'm one of those. Okay, from back then. But I always say that, of course, the best connection point is always, and here's the order of how I would suggest you do it. Best connection point is always face to face. Obviously, that's the one that's least likely right now. Okay, but the next most promising connection point is on the phone. Okay, again, when we call people, it's much more likely that people love to hear from people that they feel they care about right now, right? So the next most impactful connection point is phone. The third one is email. The fourth one is social media, right? So we even get people to reach out to people they don't even know on LinkedIn, right? Or on other social media platforms. You can do that too. But again, start where you have the strongest connection and relationship already, right? So again, start thinking about, so who are the people that I'm closest with? We haven't heard from each other for a while. Call them first. That's also probably the easiest for you to start, right? And again, if you have their phone number, call them first. And what you want to do is you want to say, look, again, as Ellen said, hey, it was great to meet you at that event 2 months ago. I just wanted to check in with you. Back then we also said we wanted to stick our heads together. Now, I'd like to share with you some hints and tips on, right? When are you available for a 5 or 10 minute call, right? So all you want is just, again, re-strengthen the connection, warm up again the connection, the relationship, and then have a more in-depth conversation. So what I would do actually, Ellen, when I then have the conversation, let's assume it's a phone call, right? So I would of course share what I promised, right? I would, but I wouldn't share what I promised right away. First of all, I would give them the feeling that I really care about them, right? So you would ask them, how are you? How is it going? You can also ask powerful questions like, what are the three, if you could change three things on your finances right now, or, three things on how to become more wealthy next year, what would these three things be? And then again, based on their answers, I would give them concrete hints and tips, but I'd also then, dive into a conversation where we look into where are they right now? Where do they want to go next with creating more wealth? And, what's challenging for them to make it happen? And then you can decide, if that is someone you would like to work with going forward, and you make a concrete offer and say, wow, if this is where you are with your wealth and your financial status, and this is where you want to be next year, well, I can share, I shared with you 3 hints and tips, but there's so much more we could do together. Sure, we arrange a longer conversation on how we could be working together, right? But of course, you only do that if you feel this is someone you love to work with, and if you feel that what you have is in line with what they need most, right? Okay. So you also asked me, Ellen, would we share something? Of course, you can always, put an overview together and share that with them as well. But again, I think the aim is, and I think this is what every financial advisor would love most, have a conversation with those people,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a chicken way to get out of like having to make that phone call, like, oh, I feel weird, or they're going to think I'm too salesy. But yeah. So one of the
Can,
things I know you
can I give a quick hint on that one? Right.
Sure.
So if you feel calling people is not your thing and you feel like, I can't do that. Okay. What you can do instead is, again, do what Ellen suggested, right? Put your top 10 hints into a quick overview. Send that as an email, okay? And announce and say, look, I mean, I just put this together for amazing people like you. I just want to share with you my top 10 tips of what my wealthiest clients do right now to keep growing their wealth, even in the current times. I thought you would be interested. It's attached. Have a look. These are the top 10 tips. And by the way, I would like to call you in a couple of days and just check in with you on how you are doing. So you can actually announce. And then again, it doesn't feel icky anymore. You just pick up the phone and call because you announced yourself up front. I hope that helps.
Yeah, no, that does feel better.
Yeah.
So I know you share with your people you coach and the people you speak to about getting potential clients to come to them instead of feeling like we're always chasing them. Can you give us some tips on that as well, Monique?
Very happy to. Okay. So, and then now for I don't know how far you are with this, but again, there's so many ways of how you can use your voice to get heard and seen, right? I mean, I work a lot with speakers as well. And, again, if you're a speaker, you speak online these days and, you do something like what we are doing right here, right now, right? You see if there's, looking at what your specific expertise is and who you are, you find, online summits, you find podcasts, you find inspiring shows like this one, and you see if they would like to invite you as a guest. I mean, that's what we did, Ellen, right? I mean, you've been on my show, right, for our speakers, and you shared your amazing wisdom there. And now thank you for inviting me to inspire your audience of financial advisors. So that's what you do, okay? But again, I think that a lot of financial advisors are not really speakers, right? Okay. The thing is, you can still use the power of your voice in tiny little ways. Okay, and that is just simply, ask yourself, for example, on social media, where are the people that you would love to connect with, right? So a lot of my clients say, hey, you know what, for me, it's LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is a platform where, especially when you have corporate clients, but even when you work with private clients, a lot of people that are successful and therefore also they have a certain amount of money to invest and where they need help and financial advice, a lot of them are actually on LinkedIn. So let's just take LinkedIn as an example. There's so much you can do. You can set up your own profile so people start seeing that you are a financial advisor. So if people are looking for financial advisors in your neighborhood or that have the expertise that you have, again, they're going to search for you, they're going to reach out to connect with you. However, you can do more than just setting up a profile. What you can also do is you can start sharing information with people. Like on a regular basis, you write little hints and tips of what you can do right now to invest in the current times in the smartest ways, right? One little tip shared every day is going to start people, it's going to get people to start paying attention to what you do. So what
Yeah,
I
so
could
I just
really,
want to pause 1 second there because when with the beginning of LinkedIn, people's compliance departments were like, no, you can't use it, you can't post, and they've all gotten much, much better at this. And I think that there's still some advisors that use compliance as an excuse to not do things. But there's just a way of understanding like what's okay to share, what's okay not to share, and to just not use words that is going to get bounced out by your compliance department.
yeah.
And to be out there in a regular way is going to be, super helpful for this. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, and it's absolutely true. The good news is you talk about a compliance department, specific language that is going to be ruled out. The good news is you all are experts of that. There's certain things you don't say. There's certain insights you don't give. Like, for example, also, I worked for quite a while in the corporate world, and I was the global head of pricing and yield management of a big corporate. I was still a speaker and I was speaking about pricing, monitoring, and so on at conferences. But there were certain things and certain insights I would of course never share because they're insights, they're no-goes, right? So again, also when you're starting out, you just need to try things out. So let me share with you a quick formula that might help you to get going, right? So if
Great.
you want to start sharing, something on social media, no matter if you like to write little posts or you like to write little articles, and it doesn't need to be on LinkedIn. It can also be on Facebook. It can be, on other social media platforms, but these are probably the two most common ones. Or if you're comfortable even to be brave enough to be on video, you can set up your own YouTube channel, right? The question is, what do you say and how do you say things to really create engagement? And if you want me in the next 2-3 minutes, I can quickly give an overview over what is an engagement
That would be
formula people can start with.
perfect. That would be perfect. Yes, thank you.
Right. Okay. So I start with one of the easier things, right? And that is actually writing little posts, right? So a post, you've probably seen it on Facebook, or maybe even if you are already on LinkedIn. How do people write posts that engage? So let me actually break it into what I call my engaging content code, right? So the thing is, what you want to have is you want to have something that triggers interest at the beginning, right? You don't just jump in, right away. You create something that we call, in our marketing language, we call it a hook, right? So when you go fishing, you want to have a hook. Otherwise, again, if you just, go there without a hook, no fish will ever bite. Well, of course, we are people, we are not biting hooks, but again, that's what we call it. So again, ask yourself, what is one thing that you can say in 15 words or less to get people's attention? So let me give you a couple of examples. You can, for example, use a headline, because the hook is normally triggers people's attention. So, for example, I've been given pitching workshops in the past all over the world, and the title was "The Art of Pitching: How You Convince Anyone of Anything Almost Every Time." So again, a lot of people would like to learn more about the art of pitching and how to convince anyone of anything almost every time. So I can use that as a headline. Or I work with people that want to get featured in media because they want to get more visible. So I can use a headline like how to get featured in media without spending a dime, right? So ask yourself, what could be a headline for you? It could be like, you could also take a headline like the best 10 ways how to invest your money in the current times or in Corona times. So that is newsworthy, that will trigger interest, it's related to your topic, right? So once you have your headline, once you have something that gets people to say, oh, wow, let me have a look, then you want to really connect with them. And what you do is, how you connect with them is you really dive into what is their greatest challenge right now, right? Or what is their greatest problem right now? Like, why would they want to engage with you? So like, you could say something like, like for financial advisor, you could say, well, a lot of people find it very challenging to make the right investment decisions right now, right? Or whatever else. So again, what is the greatest challenge of your clients that you want to pay attention to that post, right? You want to write about that problem, right? And you promise them, you say, good, this is what I'm going to talk about in this post. Next thing is, you present yourself as an expert. You say, for example, over the last 2 years, I've worked with hundreds of people that got these kind of results. So again, you show them that you're the expert, right? Then you share.
And I'm going to interject 1 second. There are ways to say that isn't going to make your compliance department freak out, because we can't do anything that's promissory or testimonial. So please, as you're listening to Monique's really great structure here, to not go, oh, that won't work. Because that's what keeps us small versus, as Monique says, stepping up.
Right.
Okay.
And I love it. And thank you for pointing that out. Okay. It's such an important point. Thank you. But what you can do is, again, you don't want to promise anything. It's true. I never guarantee anything. Let's see if you can talk about some of the successes you had, or you could say something like, in the market today, you can even refer to some media, like if you've seen some research or you've done your own research and you say, what research shows, right? Or you could even, refer to something that you've seen somewhere else, but of course you always need to actually mention where you saw it and mention the source,
Of course.
right? But just present yourself as an expert saying, I know something about it, right? And do it in your way that it doesn't trigger, you to be ruled out because of that, okay? And then again, you want to give maybe 3 to 5 little hints and say, hey, okay, so these are the 5 things, my wealthiest clients do right now, point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what you want to do is you want to engage them by asking them a question. Like that could be a question like, which of these hints would you like to try out next, right? Or what other hints would you like me to share more of? So again, give them a question and some people will respond. Some people will not only give you a like or a love, some people will really respond. And these are the people you want to start reaching out to and connect with, right? And then also give them a concrete call to action at the end of it. So ask your question, engage them, get them to respond back, and then create a call to action. So what you could do is like what Ellen spoke about earlier. If you have a little, like one pager, like a checklist or tip list or something else, right? Put that up on your website if you have a website and get people actually to register on that, right?
Yeah.
Or if you want them to have a conversation with you, say that. You want to have, you want me to have a quick look at your financial situation? Okay. Send me a direct message, right? Or, post below interested or whatever else. And if that's a no-go, again, you can say, send me a direct message, right?
Yeah. And so what I'd love you all to be thinking about is this framework that Monique gave about like a hook, and then talking about the problem and giving a few tips, and then hints and ask a question and then call to action. This isn't just good for LinkedIn posts or Facebook posts. This is a great framework if you're doing quick videos, which are fabulous to do if you're writing blog posts, if you're doing newsletters. And the more of this you do, the more you'll engage and people will know what you stand for. And I get how they'll start to come to you, and you're building a relationship even when you won't necessarily know. I had a call this morning with someone who saw me speak 8 years ago, and she's been on my mailing list. And she wants me to help consult with her on a college course. Like, I didn't even know she would not have been on my goldmine list. I didn't even know who she was. So, this is great advice, Monique. Thank you so much. And I hope you are all taking notes on this structure. And Monique, if people want to learn more about visibility and how they can grow their business with that, what's a good way for them to stay connected with you and learn more?
Right. I mean, what we've done just 2 weeks ago, and we're going to do it early next year again, we've run a 5-day visibility booster workshop. So really get people to come and join us and get clear on, who are their best clients, what's their greatest offer, how do they start reaching out to people, how do they start posting, even if they've never posted before. And these 5 days really create miracles and magic, right? I mean, we had people that reached out to several people that they haven't even been thinking about for a while, and every single one of the people that they reached out to, they arranged a conversation with, right? We had people that never posted before, they started to post, and suddenly, one of our clients got invited to speak at TEDx, and another one, got invited to speak at her best audience community, right? I mean, the thing is, when we start taking action, we start getting visible, right? Magic happens. And one thing leads to the next, as you said. So and by the way, the good news is it's all free, right? It's a 5-day visibility booster workshop, and we run them from time to time just to really help people step out of their comfort zone, let their fear behind, show them exactly what to do and how to do it, and then having a safe space to try things out so that they can actually do it in their own way, in a much bigger way.
Perfect. And the link is below. And I hope you'll connect with Monique. She's got a beautiful community, and she's so wise on so many things and very generous as well with her information. And I want to thank each and every one of you for whether you're listening to this on the podcast or you're watching us live or the recording. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful. My name again is Ellen Rogan. You can find out more about me at ellenrogan.com. And if you go to ellenrogan.com/horse's mouth, There's a special report there for you on what clients crave and some other resources I know will be helpful for you to grow your business. And the question to ponder today is, how big of a positive impact are you willing to make? How willing are you to step up and expand your visibility? Remember, I didn't say thank you. Monique, thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember to be grateful. I'm so grateful that you're calling in from Germany to be here with us, and so grateful to know you. And to all of you watching and listening, I'm grateful for you to be here as well. Remember to be great and create great every single day.